All right, let's talk about the big guys. You know, the Amazons, the Googles of the world. They've built these massive digital empires that feel, well, pretty much unbeatable. But what if there's a new player in the game, something that could shake everything up? Yep, we're talking about AI. Today, we're going to dive into how artificial intelligence is crashing the party, and we'll try to figure out if it's here to take down the giants or just make them even stronger. So, that really is the big question, isn't it? Think about it. Is AI the ultimate underdog weapon? You know, the slingshot for some new David to take on Goliath? Or is it just another shiny new shield for the kings, making their castles even more impossible to breach? This is the core conflict we're exploring today, the real battle for the future of the internet. You know, it's funny. We tend to think of platforms like YouTube or Amazon as these huge game-changing innovations, and they are. But when you really boil it down, what they're selling us is convenience. They make our lives a whole lot easier, for sure. But AI, well, that's a different beast entirely. It's not just about convenience. AI is promising a genuine revolution. We're not just talking about changing how we do stuff, but fundamentally changing what is even possible. Okay, so before we can really get into what AI is doing, we have to get the lay of the land. We need to look at the world of platforms before all this new AI stuff hit the scene. And let me tell you, it's not a friendly place. It's a battlefield, a total winner-takes-all world. All right, so if you've ever thought about starting a platform, you've probably run into this nightmare. It's the classic chicken and egg problem. Imagine you're building a new Uber. You need drivers, right? But drivers won't sign up unless there are riders. And riders won't download your app if there are no drivers. See the problem? It's this impossible loop, and honestly, it's what kills most startups right out of the gate. And that's really the secret sauce for the big guys, what we call network effects. It's why they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Take YouTube. It has billions of users, so of course all the best creators want to be there. That means more amazing content, which brings in, you guessed it, even more users. For YouTube, that's an amazing virtuous cycle. But for anyone trying to compete, it's a totally vicious cycle. It feels like you're trying to climb a waterfall. So how on earth do you break into a market like that? How do you storm that fortress? Well, for a little while there, it looked like AI might just be the secret weapon everyone was looking for. Let's dig into that. Okay, check this out. This is a fantastic real-world example. There's this education app called QAnda, and they had the exact chicken and egg problem we just talked about. They needed students to attract tutors and tutors to attract students. So what do? Something genius. They used AI as bait. They built this feature where a student could just take a picture of a math problem, and the AI would solve it instantly. I mean, what a killer feature for a student, right? It was real immediate value. So millions of students jumped on board. And once they had that huge user base of students, well, getting tutors to sign up became a piece of cake. They used AI to completely solve one side of the equation first. So smart. AI also has this other neat trick. It can get people to do something called multi-homing. That's just a fancy term for using more than one app for the same task. I mean, think about it. For what, a decade, 2 decades? Most of us have been pure Google search users. It was our one and only. But then, Microsoft puts ChatGPT into Bing, and suddenly, millions of us, even diehard Google fans, started giving Bing a try. The AI was just that good. It was powerful enough to make us cheat on our favorite search engine, maybe for the first time ever. So it sounds like AI is the perfect tool for the little guy, right? The ultimate slingshot. But here's where the story takes a turn. Because if AI is a weapon for the challenger, you better believe it's a full-on super weapon for the empire already in charge. And this might actually surprise you. We all think of this generative AI stuff as brand new, right? Like from the last couple of years. But for the big platforms, this game is old news. They've been playing with AI for decades. I mean, get this. Visa was using AI for fraud detection way back in 1993. 1993. Amazon's recommendation engine, it's been learning your shopping habits since 2003. They aren't just in the race, they had a multi-decade head start. And what do they do with that head start? They use it to make their platforms stickier, harder for you to leave. You know that feeling when you just meant to watch one video on YouTube and suddenly it's 3 hours later? That's not an accident. That's YouTube's AI, and it's designed to keep you there so you don't even think about trying another video site. Or how Amazon seems to know what you want to buy before you do. Same deal. They're using AI to basically kill the idea of multi-homing before it even starts. But it's not just about data and experience. The biggest, scariest advantage the incumbents have, it's cold, hard cash. And with this new wave of generative AI, the cost of competing has created a gap that's getting wider and wider. Just look at this number, about $1 million. What do you think that is? That's the estimated cost per day just to run a big AI service like ChatGPT. We're not talking about building it. This is just to keep the lights on. $1 million every single day. Just think about that. And I mean, this chart says it all, doesn't it? Who has $1 million a day to burn? It's not your typical startup working out of a garage. It's the big tech players, the Googles, the Microsofts. They're the only ones who can afford to play in this sandbox, to build and run these huge AI models. For anyone else, it's not just a high wall to climb, it's practically insurmountable. And really, this is what it all boils down to. Everyone hoped AI would be this great equalizer, right? But it's turning out to be the exact opposite. It's an accelerator for the ones already in the lead. When a company that's already a giant successfully plugs in this incredibly powerful and expensive AI, the gap between them and everyone else doesn't just grow, it widens exponentially. So, if the big players are just going to get bigger, what does this future actually look like for us, for you and me? Well, it all points in one direction, a future of hyper-personalization, all driven by AI. Yeah, we're talking about going way beyond just, you might also like this product. Think about it. Imagine an education platform that builds a totally custom curriculum just for your kid based on how they learn. Or what about platform banking, an AI that doesn't just show you your balance, but knows you're thinking about moving and connects you with the perfect mortgage, the right real estate agent, and even a moving company. The whole idea is to predict what you need, sometimes before you even realize you need it. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. Look, these platforms are going to get smarter and offer us unbelievable levels of convenience. They'll know us better than we know ourselves. But as they get more powerful, more centralized, as they start guiding everything from what our kids learn to the house we buy, you have to ask, who's really calling the shots? Who's in control? That's something I think we're all going to have to think about. And